Hello, hello. Hello, ladies. Can you hear me?
Hi, Annie.
Hi, how are you? Sorry, a minute or two late for my own meeting.
All
Oh,
good.
you can tell I'm not a morning person.
You look pretty good. You look pretty good for someone who's not a morning person. So,
I'm not a
like,
morning person, but anyway, it's amazing what a splash of lipstick can do.
awesome.
Oh, dear. Hello, lovely ladies joining us. We have beautiful Lumbi. Hello. We have Sunny. Hello.
Hey,
Hey,
hello. Let me get
see you.
my just 1 second.
And hopefully we'll have some more. It's always tricky to get someone to a live meeting, but we'll give it a go.
Great.
How are you, Sunny?
I'm pretty good. I just walked, then I went in with all the fresh air and ready to shine again.
Ready for the day, or you're probably halfway
Yes.
through your day. I'm always starting when everyone else is finishing.
Hello, everyone. Can you guys hear me now?
We sure can. You're
Yay.
sounding beautifully crystal clear and looking very professional.
Wonderful.
Now,
Thank you.
do you know Ali? I know you've met Ali on the Ali's
Yes.
theme song crazy.
Oh, my
son.
Oh, that's Ali. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Ali. She's got a computer that's just about to die on her, so we've got
I feel like I did. Yeah, Limby and I have been emailing back and forth, but it's so lovely
Yes.
to meet you virtually.
It's lovely
Not that
to meet you.
Yeah, you've been so
Yes.
gracious. Yeah.
Thank
So
you
it's so
so
wonderful
much.
to have you part of this book.
Thank you so
fantastic.
much. It's good to see you, Annie. So good to see you.
Lovely to see you. Always adore you. And I'm so thankful that you've come on as doing the forward to our book. So for those who have missed this meeting, I've recorded the meeting just because I know, because I'm in Australia, I'm always at a different time than everybody else. So that is okay. We'll just assume that they're all listening in. We do have a lot of people involved in the book, and Ali can run through who's doing what. But I just thought it would be a great opportunity for us to start having, particularly in the publishing arm of my business now, that we'll start having monthly meetings, just so that anyone in any of our books can actually just be up to speed, have an opportunity to ask questions, also to see who else is in the book. It's always great to know who your co-authors are. So, but I appreciate people, particularly in Australia, are probably on their way to work and bits and pieces. So that's okay. We'll get into the gist of this. So today we are primarily just going to run through Heart Warrior, which is our next book, which we are super, super excited about. The cover's all just been finished for that. So while Ali's talking, I'll pop the cover up for you in a little wee minute. And Lumbi has come on and is going to do the forward to that book, which is just so important. And Sunny, I don't know, Lumbi, do you know Sunny? No.
Yes, I
No,
got
I don't
background
know.
noise, so I have to shut down a little bit.
Sunny is one
It's
of
nice to
our
meet you, Sunny.
Nice to meet you all.
and so Sunny's in the States as well, as you. So and so we will go through. We might actually just get Ali just to give an overview of who's coming in, what their names are, and pretty much, where we kind of feel like we're positioned at the moment. And then we'll get to hear, because Sunny, because you're here, you'll be able to ask any questions. And Lumbi will also be able to get a feel for, particularly when you're writing the forward, who's, what's types of ladies, what sort of stories they've got and things like that. So is that okay to put you on the spot, Ali?
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine, because obviously people who re-watch this later will obviously tune in and hear where we're up to. So I guess where we're up to in the state of Heart Warrior is in the thick of content creation. So I've obviously had group emails, separate one-on-one emails, and the process generally has been, of course, to first go through the application process, or onboarding for Heart Warrior. We've gone through sort of like the online form and jot form, and looking about some of the terms and conditions and certain payments and everything like that. So we're tracking really, really well. Like any project, we have sometimes authors coming on a bit later, or we've had authors that may have put their hand up and thought that you know, maybe memoirs is a better fit for that author. But currently we're doing really, really strong for Heart Warrior, and the content that's coming through, I have to say, is completely on point with that heroic tapping into your inner warrior, someone who's gone through adversity, maybe professionally or personally or a bit of both. And it's really quite developing it to be a really great collection, a really great anthology of stories. So at this point in time, we have obviously Louise Barton, who's not here. So Louise, if you're watching this, and obviously we've emailed, you're still just completing your chapter submission, so I haven't seen that as of yet. And everybody that is coming forward, I should just say, there is a Google Drive, everyone has their own folder, and I keep up to track with access for everyone for that folder, so we can look through the edits. I should have said that beforehand. We also have Dr. Laura Cobb. We have a draft for Laura, and we're still going through the first stage of edits. So with everything, there's 2 stages of edits, and then we'll go through like the proofreading process that Annie might talk through in terms of the stages of the book. We have Kelly, who's just submitted her incredible chapter. We've had about 2 rounds of edits with that, which is absolutely shaping up beautifully. That's the wonderful thing about having back and forth. We can shape and mold your chapter so it reads coherently to your story, and just some back and forth questions with regards to, let's flesh this out. Could we define this a little bit more? What does this term mean? And just some sort of structural comments as well about a chapter as well. We obviously have lovely Sunny, who's here today. Sunny has written a fabulous chapter. We've gone through 2 rounds of edits, and Sunny, I'm actually just going through yours. I've been going through yours today, and it's really, really phenomenal. And we have Talat. Talat is still, I think, in content creation stage. So as I said, everyone's a little bit different, you know, maybe 2 weeks out or so, but I'm trying to sort of herd us back into the dates, and just to make sure that we're on track for everybody else. And then the wonderful Karen McDermott from KMD, she's also getting a chapter to me hopefully this week. And then we have finally Patricia. That's not finally, that's wrong. Patricia Grover as well, who's actually just in the chapter creation stages. So I haven't seen anything of yet from Patricia. We have Sharon Lynn, who way back when, actually, she must have got a surge of creativity, and she submitted her chapter at the beginning, I think, or the late end of January. So that was actually before the timeline, if you like, for that particular part of the process. And then, of course, Lumbi, who's come on board in the last 5 days, who has beautifully and graciously agreed to write the foreword for the book, and actually has submitted the foreword now, and it was incredible, Lumbi. I think we've had some edits even today, so thank you. You're obviously insanely on board on everything you do, because that was really quite a fast and wonderful turnaround. And so in terms of everybody's stages, that's where we're kind of looking. At this point in time, yes, as I mentioned, we do have the form signed off. And of course, as we're going, I'm asking people for bios and headshots, and just make sure that we've got something really cohesively to go from literally within the next week or so, in terms of getting everyone's chapter in, because the editing process is in itself is quite an important part of this step, to work with everybody individually. Is that okay, Annie, or do we need
that
more?
Is absolutely brilliant. Okay. Yes, thank you so much, Ali. So 2 things. I popped the cover picture in the chat for you, so you can see the picture of the cover of the book. So hopefully you're feeling that is just beautiful. Yeah, so we have at least, you know, a dozen or so of us all writing chapters. I'm writing, as I do in the anthologies, the first chapter and the last chapter. So I bookend it, and then I very much at the beginning, this sort of stage of the book development, all of your time is with Ali, because she actually has the skills and experience and expertise of actually working with you to make sure that they are chapters that you're just so proud of, that you feel really comfortable with. And so any of the feedback she gives, she'll give it from, obviously, you know, an editor's perspective, you know, what would be appropriate for, just to make sure that the theme of the book, and it just feels really cohesive. We want to be having our own authentic voice heard very, very clearly, so that each reader actually goes, oh, I really felt like I got, got to know Sunny, got to know, Lumbi or Annie or whoever. But we also want to make sure that it really does have that heart warrior sort of feel through. So you've got a combined theme with all this authenticity as well. So if any of you have been asked for specific changes or whatever, they're just recommendations. We're just really trying to work with you, and Ali's the best one to do that. And I love the way all of you so far have just received that so well and have just taken it on board. And I love hearing Ali's updates, because she'll be like going, oh, they're so good, it's just coming along so well. I get to hold back a little bit till I don't read all of your drafts. I wait till it's kind of like, yes, you're happy with that, and then I'll go through and just make sure that I'm obviously on top of what everyone has written. I'm feeling really comfortable with that. From a timeline perspective, we're actually going really well. And from books that I've done before, I've actually extended it out to give us some really good wiggle room for a reason. So I've kind of set aside 6 months for this project. Now, yes, we wanted to start writing in January to February. We're heading now to end of February. We do want to, in our planner, try and have as much as we can done by the end of February, because all of March, we're wanting that to be with the Next Level Up editors. So we're going to get that through the first round of professional editing, that they've had a little look at it, and anything can come back there. So obviously, if you're ready and done, which is awesome, like Sharon, who's just popped it off and done, and you're all done and dusted, you'll be first to the queue with the editor, right? And then a few of others have traveled, and sickness and life happens, and hey, I totally get that. So don't worry, Dr. Talat and Patricia, I will be messaging you today and just seeing if we can help you along your way a little bit. And that's all okay, right? There's no stresses there. We will get there. So once that March happens, all of that sort of more official editing will happen. We like it to get where Ali's sort of looked at it, worked with you, so it's not extreme when we then go to the editor. So the editor will do that. Once we're happy with that, we'll go back and forth a little bit more if required. We'll typeset it. So we'll actually pick a look and feel of the book that we're wanting it to go into. We'll pop the content into that, and then we'll then be able to see it all as one piece, which is just super exciting. We'll also then be able to then send your chapters back to you as this is how it is typeset, because sometimes it sort of feels or looks a little bit different. You'll see it with new eyes, which is really great. Once we've actually got to that sort of stage, so we're now heading into probably April, we will then be able to then get a proof copy, right? We want a proof copy to be printed and sent to all of you, so you have it in your hot little hands and you're sitting there going, oh my God, this is my book, right? Like, and tell you what, this was my book, Twins, that I popped out last year. And it's so different. I don't know, if you're an online reader, maybe it's not so different, but for me, I'm like, oh, it's so different, which is hilarious probably to others. But anyway, if you're like me and you just actually want to touch it, feel it, you can see things. You can see what's written on the back, on the front, in the middle, bits and pieces. You get a perspective of everyone. You get to read each other's. And I tell you what, that actually is one of the best parts, because you suddenly just get really, really on board with who your co-authors are and their journeys as well. And I absolutely love that. So once again, there'll be a few little levels of sign-offs. So then what Ali will make it really easy for you. It'll be a pretty much, once you've got the book and you've read it, you've had a couple of weeks to read it, you'll then get a little sign-off form to say, I've read my chapter and I'm 100% happy with it. All right. We don't want to put anything out until you've done that. So there'll be that little step there. And then we will then, once we are all happy that we've got all of our authors, so you're as good as your weakest link. So answer your emails. Once we all have given it the tick of approval, we'll then go, right, we're good to go. So then we'll actually ask all of you, well, how many copies will you actually like? You get them at, you'll get a code that'll say, a code author 40 that you'll put in through my website. I'm getting a new website made for publishing at the moment. And then you'll get them at cost price, but I'll want to know how many you want delivered to you, because if you're going to have like a little book party, launch party. We'll have an online party, but we want to make sure, one, when you have the online party, that you've got your little book in front of you, right? That's pretty disastrous if you don't. And then also, I want to make sure that you've got those when everyone goes, oh my gosh, you're in another amazing book. I love it. I want to buy one. And you just have it ready to sign and do all of that sort of stuff. So I want to make sure that you have them, and I want to make sure that you've got them like at least a week earlier than when we plan our launch party. Does that make sense? So if you're thinking, well, when's the launch party? Well, the launch party will probably be 2 weeks after I know that the last person's book orders have definitely been sent to them. All right. So I'm assuming it'll be in June if it pushes, so we're planning this book because we had a 6-month timeline, January to June. It probably should be late June, 1st of July. But we won't plan the date of the party or the launch until we've gone through those other steps. So at the moment, we'll just focus on getting all the content done, back and forth with beautiful Ali. We'll then get, as soon as they're ready, we don't have to do it in a chunk to the editor. We will basically send them over one by one as they're ready. So they'll be now queued. That process will happen. If you've got any issues whatsoever, you just go, oh, they hurt my feelings. I thought I loved that word and they suggested I change that word. That's okay. Just tell me. Don't get upset or emotional, or it's like, oh, they're not getting my essence, whatever. Like, we want to get your essence. So if someone gives you some feedback that you just go, then that's okay. Just go, oh, I'm just not feeling comfortable with that. And then we'll work a way of somewhere else that we can make that happen. Okay. So nothing, I don't ever want you to have your name to a chapter in a book or a whole book, and then you go, something in there just doesn't align. It has to align. All right. So there was always a way. So just so that I've said that, my style is always just ask Annie, right? Just tell her. I don't care. I don't get upset about anything. I'm a fixer. Fix things. So you just tell me and I will make sure that that looks absolutely beautiful for you. So that's all from me at this stage. Sunny, would you love to share a little bit about how you're going with your chapter, how you're feeling in the process, how that's working for you?
Sure. I still have a little background noise, but you guys hear me okay, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. First of all, this is the great opportunity to connect with more people. We are all in this journey to become a powerful being. We are powerful, but sometimes we just need to unite and become even more powerful. And so this is my second anthology. The first one is international bestseller, talk about resilience, and with 220 of other female entrepreneurs. So this, I believe, is around 10 to 15. So I like this feeling because the past experience I have is on this journey to write things together, to read people's story and to share openly, because we feel like we are in the same boat. We want to launch it, we want to become international bestseller. That synergy is really something I'm looking forward to have again. And for the journey, I think it's just strange when I already write this for other, just kind of blogging. They say, oh, I need an article. So I start writing very simple thing and I just send it out. And when I'm writing, I say, wow, this is need to get more people to read. And all of a sudden you have this open door. And, hey, so I already have this ready, but it's kind of timing. It's just perfect timing. And with the heart, because what I say is my journey was my realization, my heart journey, my head to heart, and it just met that perfect match. So I'm looking forward to it. I think this is going to be a great journey, and hoping and we have either a community call or something and get to know more people. So yeah, thank you to be here.
Cool. Excellent. And you are doing really well. Now I'm all excited actually. I kind of like, oh, when should I snoop into Sunny's beautiful chapter? Lumbi, thank you so much for coming on board so quickly and turn around. Like, it does sound phenomenal. I'm just like, when I thought of I'm like, who can we reach out to? I'm like going, you were actually my like, wouldn't it be amazing if Lumbi said yes? So first of all, thank you for saying yes. And thank you for doing that so
well,
for us.
Thank you actually for asking me. I mean, I'm really honored and flattered. I think it's amazing. It's going to be an amazing book. And I just love the cover. When I saw the cover, I was like, wow. I just kept looking at it, that heart, I'm like, yeah, that's it right there. Listening to your heart. Because I do listen to my heart all the time. I know that my heart never lies to me. Everything I do, I just have to go with my instinct. Because they say your instinct is your very first instinct is always the right one. I tend to listen to that. I tend to go with that. And it never fails. It works. So when I got the email from Ali, I was like, wow. And my instinct told me right away to say yes. And I said yes. And I was really humbled. I was like, wow, what an honor. So I'm really, really honored. This is my second book, writing a forward. So it's exciting. This one is so special. I don't know, something about it. It's just like powerful women and just the stories. I mean, it's just powerful. I love it already. Before I even see the chapters, just hearing Sunny say, when you told me about Sunny, how powerful a chapter is in others, already I'm like so touched. I'm like, wow, this is gonna be big. So thank you for asking me, and thank you for thinking highly of me to write it forward.
Oh, I think so highly of you. So it's just so great. I just feel instant connection, instant yeses. I love all that. I'm all into feeling your gut. And I think so often we overthink things, like, yes, you want to consider, risks and is this right? But that initial, like, yeah, just feels right.
Yeah.
I'm totally on board with that as well. I just love it and just go, yeah, just do it. I'd love to, obviously, because I'm all into maximizing marketing and branding and all that sort of thing. So I will also reach out to all of you and ask you, like, particularly once you've got your forward written, Lumbi, I'll get you to actually just video yourself, even reading it, just so that we can get little snippets of, it might not be the whole lot. It might be like, whoa, looking forward to this. Do you know what I mean? So whether you are feeling comfortable just to do that yourself, or you'd rather Annie come on a Zoom and we'll do it together, and I'll ask you, do you know what I mean? Bring that Annie energy into it and go, Lumbi, thank you so much for doing our forward. I would love you to read it for us. So obviously long term we'll get an audio book and things like that, but I love the energy and bringing out the essence of actually who the authors individually are, because then the readers just get this excitement, and you also get them to connecting, right? So you get excitement around the book, and you don't want to go, yeah, woo woo, it's like any book. It's kind of like going, no, woo woo, it's this book. It's these people. It's these hearts. These are the heart warriors, right? And so also with you, Sunny, you'll get to obviously be interviewed about your chapter and the key points around it and things like that. So once you've got your content done and Ali goes, yep, they're off to the editor, whatever, then we'll probably in the next month or so, I will circle back to all of you, and all of you listening in, I will come back to all of you and then go, hey, let's book a time, and I'll video it. I can video it for you, and I can actually just ask you some questions or get you to do like a full read or whatever it is, just so that we get as many digital assets as possible. Because with more and more, particularly because the media arm of my business is growing so much, we'll be able to do more like little sizzle reely things, like fun stuff, right? We want to make sure that Women's Myth Publishing just like smashes the others out of the water. Not that I'm competitive or anything, but I'm like, oh, yeah, that would be really good. But it just and also gives you more assets to have, right? And I'm all into you having your own digital assets on your own websites to make sure that people see the breadth of work that you do. So I don't even have to keep everything. I just love you having things. So all of that will come, but obviously it's a stepping stone. Ali is the queen of keeping things on track. I get all excited. It's a perfect marriage. And so she will just make sure that you do all of the initial steps, which we're doing. She'll be rustling up those who are struggling a little bit. Those who are going great, we'll be sending them off. We'll be then getting excited about putting it all into an official looking book. So the next month is very exciting for this book. We've got other books still starting off. We've got another one, if anyone's interested in it. It's building at the moment, Memoirs of Successful Women. So that's more of a chapter about your success journey to date and how you're still on that journey, but the key factors that have made you the woman you are today from a achievement perspective, a success perspective, so that other people can be inspired, by your journey and think, I could be bold and have a journey like that. So if you're interested in also doing that book, that one's happening at the moment. And then, of course, we've got some others coming along as well. But today's talk is all about Heart Warrior. Anyone else listening in, if you're, a last minute, you actually go, gosh, I can pluck my chapter out within the next 2 to 3 weeks, never say never, but we won't delay our time frame, but you can definitely do that. And I know some people have that capacity. So we'll make a call once we've actually got to the next, probably the next 3 weeks or so, and then go, it's impossible to actually then join, because I'm not into delaying things because other people do things at the last minute. I think there's an opportunity until an end point, and then that sort of closes, because I want to really honor the people who have contributed in the way that we've mapped it out. So a quick meeting is probably a good meeting. I was hoping more could come, but that's okay. I appreciate that. Are you okay, ladies, if I put this recording on my tribe Facebook group, like if anyone sees it, or would you prefer if I just send it to the people who are in the book?
Well, I think it's better to let people see how much fun we have, right? We get together and share.
Yeah.
How come the next one,
Exactly. That's all right. I just wanted your permission there. I will put it on the tribe, because you never know. Someone else might go, oh my gosh, I definitely want to do that, or just learn about the book process by the conversation that we've had. I never have anything that's really secret. It's too exhausting. So that would be great. Thank you so much for that, ladies. All right. Well, Ali will continue to dialogue with you. Once I've got them all in, I will then have a good read. We will have another meeting like this in another, probably another 3 or 4 weeks or so, once we're up to that next stage. And that one will be a big one, because we should have pulled a lot of the content together. It should be all in the tight set sort of position, or at least we'll have picked that style. We'll have had a lot of the chapters done, and we'll definitely be on to doing some of the recording. Plus I'll have a little look at the marketing sort of plan that we'll then pre-plan. So a lot of it, it's like you do all of it and then you start telling everybody like you've done it, even though you haven't actually done it all yet. There's a few smoke and mirrors in the world of publishing, but we want to make sure that we're all set. So therefore, that whole aspect of, estimating when it will be, what the press releases will be, what the marketing plan will be, we'll make sure that we've got all of that. That doesn't just suddenly happen in July. That actually happens in around April, right? Because we want to know who we're telling, what we're telling, what it's going to look like. So we'll map out all of that for you. The great thing is you just sit there and enjoy the ride, and we'll make that happen for you and make sure that you get the relevant information at the right times. All right. And as always, just reach out to me personally if you've got any issues. And if you want to have some specific answers, definitely ask Ali, because she'll know more than me. And fantastic. And also, just to honor Ali, thank you, Ali, for all of your amazing work with all of our authors. I know there's just so much stuff that happens behind the scenes. So just want to thank you.
Everyone, has been a pleasure to work with so this far. And I think working for an independent publishing house is probably, being part of that entire book writing process from start to finish. I think it's a real honor. So I'm really, I feel very privileged by the people that we're working with to trust that process. So it's very exciting. So, and I'm so sorry about my video. I've literally made a note to say install camera tomorrow. So I'm sorry if my camera's been a bit.
You've got a whole disco thing happening at times.
It's the energy. Right. It's just the cosmic energy
in the mornings.
No, thanks.
We will leave it there. Any of you who want to stick in about 30 minutes from now, I've got another meeting about Women's Biz Global partnering with Leadership Global. I don't know if you ladies know Leadership Global in the US, but Women's Biz Global are announcing a big collaboration with our tribes and our resources. So we'll end up being a nice collective of around 35,000 women in our network. So that's super exciting. So we're having an information Zoom on this link in 30 minutes from Linda Fisk and I. So Linda is the CEO of Leadership Global. So I'll be doing, she's doing sort of information sessions to her members, and then I'm doing it to my community as well. So I know you've got busy things to do, but if you're interested in hearing about what that means, just pop back on this same link in 30 minutes time.
Cool. Thank
All
you.
righty.
Thank you,
Well,
Jenny.
thanks,
Always
Annie.
Thank you so
bringing
much.
exciting things.
Nice to
I
see you.
know,
Bye.
it's also
Thanks,
exciting.
Libby.
Yeah, yeah.
Bye,
Thank you.
ladies.
Nice to meet you all. Okay.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.